Hello and welcome back. Broadcasting from El Dorado Royal Spa Resort by Charisma, an adults-only hotel located in the middle and heart of Riviera Maya. Mexico City is celebrating the reopening of the Manuel Tolsa Museum after an absence due to remodeling and restoring jobs. Today, we can all enjoy and admire New Spain masterpieces as we have never seen them before. Manuel Tolsa was credited with some of the most emblematic sculptures and buildings of Mexico. Among them is the Hospicio Cabañas Hospital Complex in Guadalajara, which in 1997 received the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization recognition as World Heritage Site. The museum that preserves Tolsa's original sketches, sculptures, and blueprints has recently reopened its doors after 1 year of remodeling. The renewal required an investment of more than $250,000. Elisa Barragan, a specialist of the National Autonomous University of Mexico, was in charge of the undertaking. The main objective of this entire project was to highlight the creativity of the Spanish architect. The Manuel Tolsa Museum is placed inside one of his very own masterpieces, the Palacio de la Minería, at number 7 Tacuba. Inside of its 3 halls, the past, the present, and intertwine, the remodeling of the gallery includes miniatures of the Tolsa buildings, specially designed for the blind and the visually impaired. It also includes a virtual mock-up of the Palacio, the Palace of the Spanish Count, and of Buenavista, the Metropolitan Cathedral of Mexico City. These virtual miniatures have the purpose of showing people a different perspective of these buildings. The entire collection features 150 pieces divided in 3 parts. The very first part tells the life of Miguel Tolsa and the history of the Palacio de la Minería. The second is a complete review of the equestrian statue of Charles IV, more colloquially known as El Caballito, which in English means the horsey. Finally, the third hall keeps a miscellaneous collection of Tolsa's work, designs from some of his contemporaries as well as the work of his students at the university. The remodeling of the Manuel Tolsa Museum was part of the celebration of the bicentenary of the Palacio, which now belongs to the university's College of Engineering. Manuel Tolsa Sarrión was born in Valencia, Spain in the year 1757. In his native land, he grew to become a renowned architect and sculptor for the Spanish court. After developing a prolific body of work, he was named director of the San Carlos Academy of Mexico, which was the New Spain at the time. He was responsible for finalizing the Metropolitan Cathedral and was a major proponent of neoclassical architecture in the Viceroyalty of New Spain. After years of work, Manuel Tolsa died on Christmas Eve in the year 1816. The nation's capital, beside the official opening of cultural and artistic spaces, also discovered an ancient city beneath its grounds. Considered as Mexico's one and only city of Pompeii. Almost 1 century ago, researcher Manuel Gamio began exploring an area underneath Pedregal de San Angel, a residential area located in Mexico City's south end. What he found were the remains of Copilco, a pre-Columbian town that was buried in lava from a nearby volcano which erupted over 2,000 years ago, much in the same fate of the ancient Pompeii in 79 before Christ. Today, archaeologists from the National Institute of Anthropology and History of Mexico are continuing where Gamio left off. Their findings could be described as something out of a time capsule. According to José Sánchez Alanís and Emma Marmolejo, archaeologists and coordinators of the Direction of Public Registry of Monuments and Archaeological and Historical Areas, Copilco is one of the most representative archaeological sites of the Valley of Mexico. In the year 1917, Manuel Gamio made 4 tunnels under the residential area. Beneath the ground, he found the remains of adults and children, placed in cylindrical graves, also known as conic frustum shaped. House foundations, remains of clay figures, metates, which are milling stones, obsidian knives, and other everyday objects were buried under these grounds. After years of being unable to explore the site, the new team of researchers has resumed investigation in 2 of the 4 tunnels. They have identified 2 layers of ashes, one 4 or 5 centimeters thick of the measuring of 20 to 30 centimeters thick. Both layers are attributed to the eruption of the Xitle volcano, which was calculated to have taken place sometime between 627 and 630 before Christ. Researchers have found that Copilco was a complex town that lay on a strategic point near rivers, lakes, and surrounded by many natural resources that ensured the town's prosperity for many years. In one of the layers, the team found clues that confirm human activity, which means that people used to live in the area until the unexpected eruption of Xitle. The researchers also found remains of ancient Mexica offerings, as well as tombs in cavities left in the lava, which seem to have been left as a tribute to Huehueteotl, the Aztec god of fire. Now for today's feature story, an outstanding and remarkable journey, a test of strength, courage, and perseverance. A man that has broken all boundaries in every single way there is and changed the lives of hundreds. Let me introduce you to Dr. Q. Alfredo Quiñones Hinojosa is a noted neurosurgeon, professor, and researcher who began his career jumping onto the USA from Mexico. He literally jumped the border fence when he was young, which was the definite moment that led him toward the successful man he today is. Dr. Q, as he is known in the US, is a Mexican-born physician who had quite a difficult life that turned out to be remarkable. As a young man, after crossing the Mexican-American border, he started working in the fields of San Joaquin Valley in the state of California. Years later, he enrolled in community college, then onto the University of California, and finally acquired a full scholarship at Harvard Medical School. Today, Dr. Q, or Quiñones Hinojosa, is a professor of neurosurgery and oncology, director of the Neurosurgical Pituitary Center both at the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine. He is also the clinical director of the Brain Tumor Surgery Program at the Johns Hopkins Bayview Hospital. All of this in addition to his every single day labor, operating and saving the lives of hundreds of patients, performing 250 brain surgeries a year, which means over 2,000 surgeries throughout his entire career. When Dr. Q is not in class or teaching or in the OR, he's most likely to be working on the research lab trying to find a way to cure cancer. His work involves a theory where natural stem cells in the brain could be put in a precise spot where the cancerous cells could stop spreading. There is still a lot of work to be done, but Dr. Q is confident that this research will be the revolutionary aspect in the brain cancer field. On top of that, Dr. Q is also participating together with his patients in half marathons and races in order to raise money to fight brain cancer. Also, one of his patients holds annual fundraisers to collect money for his research. Dr. Quiñones Hinojosa is proud of his Mexican roots, and he sometimes goes back to his country of origin to give out conferences and speeches to motivate people and show them that there are other ways to make it to the top, and it doesn't matter where you are from, you can always fulfill your dreams. He is a kind, approachable, inventive, and driven man who has reached recognition for his hard work and helping hands, and we just hope his research pays off and leads to curing cancer. This was it for today. Thank you so much for staying and joining us at Mexico News Network, broadcasting directly from El Dorado Royal Spa Resort by Charisma. We'll see you next time.